Da, 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 da. Bum, ba, da, bum, bum. Hey, look at that. It's working. Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? It's Superfiend here, and welcome back to Whacky World. We're going to try something new here on the channel, and that is consistent early morning streaming for all those people who might be up early in the morning and happen to know I exist. So we'll see how that goes. We're going to start with Whacky World, and maybe we'll work on this bridge that I was working on a couple weeks ago. Maybe not, we'll see. I can't for the life of me remember exactly where I was going with this thing. So let's see. We need to flesh out this. I don't want to compete with the coaster, so I'm going to pause the game. We need to flesh out this this little bridge thingy right here, and then we need to make it tall enough for this. What is this called again? What is this thing? I can't. It's a something collis, a portcullis. That's what it is. So we need to make the overall structure tall enough to cover most of it. We might be able to drop them down just a little bit here. Like say if we did. Oh, that is weird. No, everything's fine. We might be able to drop them down like this. Although that brings them a little bit close to people's heads, but I think it could work. I think it could work if we did that. We don't want it down like this because they'll clip through it. But we could drop it down a little bit like that, and then we wouldn't have to make it quite as tall. And we have to, figure out how we're going to attach the chains at the top. By the way, I do have some participant observers in the room. I don't know how much they'll participate or observe, but I didn't kick everybody out of the room this morning to start this so early. If you do recall, we use these large signs here to kind of make the drawbridge, and that works better than any of the other ones for what we're trying to do. And then this little marker right here, this is for the halfway point, so that when we finish this side, we can pretty much duplicate it, flip it around, and it should all just match nicely over here, and then we can add unique variation on each side as necessary. So I guess where we should start is figuring out exactly what we're going to do with this stuff. So we got a little bit of stonework there, and that works okay. So I think we should add a little bit more. And let's see. So what would we add? I didn't plan any of this out for building this. So that's, kind of terrible, but that's okay. We'll make do. So, we could use wall pieces that are on the grid, but they're going to be kind of difficult to use. Simply because these things are not 4 meters apart up here, so we really want pieces that are not on the grid. And I don't think... Whoa, they added a whole bunch of stuff here. Good morning. How are you, Mrs. Delady? Unbelievable that you've managed to show up. I streamed early enough that you would be awake and and present. What you up to today? Let's see. I need something in here that's going to work. Some sort of column. Wow, they added a whole bunch of stuff in here. 4 meters. 16 meters high. They got pieces that are 16 meters high in this game? Oh, I'm good. I guess they do have tall pieces like that. It's 1:30 there. Yeah, I'm hoping to catch all you, all the Euros and Brits in the mid-afternoon. If I go long enough. If I go long enough, I might catch some of the younglings as they get out of school. My wife and I, we went driving all day 2 days ago. I think it was 2 days ago to go look at houses with all 3 kids in the back of the car and our little one who's like 3.5 months now screaming at us most of the way. He did not like all the driving we were doing that day. That was a fun day. So that ate up some good old time too. Let's see here. Let's try finding a piece maybe in the fairy tale. There is nothing in here. I need... Ooh, what can we do with that? No, I need something that's stone. Okay, to hell with these filters. I look like a dummy because I don't really use a lot of stone stuff in this park. So I don't really know what pieces I would want to use here. We could use something like that. Something like this if I turned it a little bit. Maybe if it kind of just went like that. That might work. I'm not sure if I like the color. And now it's got a funky axis. God, I hate that. Oh, I hate that. It drives me insane. It drives me insane. Like you're like, okay, this is good. And then it's off kilter from everything. And what we really need, you know what we need in this game is we need a third option here. We need use world axes, use building axes, or use world, use relative, and then use building. And then these red and blue arrows, they should line up with the building grid. And then life would be a lot easier. But we don't have that option, do we? Ah, okay. Well, anyways. So let's try it like this. Let's just kind of like wedge this in here. It's going to be a difficult maneuver. Come on, you obnoxious piece. And of course it would be floating. It would have to float. Okay, let's get the other side here. No, it won't work if I was going to say I could try putting down a grid piece and then duplicating it. But we're just going to have to fiddle with it like this. I don't know if I like it poking over the edge here, but that's something that we could try to fix later. Okay, so now that we got both of them. Oh, yeah, look at that. Now, this game. Oh, what is it with the axes in this game? So now that I've got two of them, look, now it's going to be like, oh, yeah, sure, buddy. Here you go. Here's a couple pieces with a nice axes for you to move them on, which is not entirely aligned with the grid, I don't think. I think it's a little bit rotated, but it's certainly better than what it was a second ago when they were individual pieces. Okay, so we could spin them like this just a little bit, just get them lined up here. I don't know why I am so obsessive and getting all this stuff like perfectly aligned. It's like it's such a waste, because then you zoom out later and nobody can see it, and you'll never know, you'll never care. So but then when you're in and you're building it, you can't help it. Your brain takes over and you're like, I have to be perfect. Let's see there. Loki Lafray says, hello, new/old sub, since you've been away due to real life. Old due to you joined when I had around 300 subs. Well, welcome back, Loki. Thanks for stopping in and saying hello. Nice to see you. Real life is more important than our passion for video games, I would say. So, you got to take care of all that real life stuff first before you can sit around and have a good time, unfortunately. So now the question becomes, and you are, what a great welcome back. We have, the famous the lady signer in here, huh? But anyways, so now we have the age-old question. Should be like, how high should we lift these? Should we lift them that high and leave a little gap like that? Or should we go down a little bit lower and kind of do that? And I think that kind of looks better. I think it looks better like that. But then we also need to bring it up high enough to meet the top here. I'm feeling. What would be another piece? Are there any pieces that would kind of like line up on top of this and work okay? Oh yeah, that's lovely. I can't help it. I'm a pain in the butt everywhere I go. Yeah, I'm a pain in the butt. It's a natural gift. It's a natural talent. I think my dad helped culture it as I was growing up, and all the years that he would torture my mom. But yeah, I can be a huge pain in the butt. Oh, that's just terrible. No, we're not going to do that. That's ugly. Let's see. What else can we do in here? Castle Butchers. How big is this going to be? Yeah, I am. So far on my channel, I have been very family friendly. And that means that I can't share all the wonderful family stories that we have from when I was growing up. My family was highly inappropriate. And when I was in high school, okay, you can't make this kind of crap up. But when I was in high school, I had a couple friends. Is it a plane? No, it's a car. It's a pain in the butt. Yes, I'm a pain in the butt. I had a couple friends that surfed. It was primarily one, but there was another one. And my dad surfed. And so every once in a while, these two friends, they would call and they'd be like, hey, Superfiend. And I'd be like, oh, hey, how you guys doing? And they'd be like, oh, we're good. Can we talk to your dad? We want to go surfing today. We want to know if he's going to go. So then I had a couple friends that would call, and they just, they just wanted to know if my dad was going to go surfing so they could bum a ride off of him. And if he was more than happy to take him. But then I had other friends. A handful of them. There were like 3 that after school, they wanted to just come hang out at my house. And the reason they wanted to hang out at my house is it was the weirdest thing. They would hang out at my house and they would just chill out in the living room and like do their homework. And they would just listen to me and my parents and my brother, and they would just listen to us all rag on each other, more or less. And they thought it was the funniest thing. They had so much fun getting their homework done and listening to all of us insult each other, because that's how we show love in my family, is we insult you. And it's one of the reasons I think I have a thick skin. Good morning, Fire Gamer GT. How you doing? And so, it's just the way we kind of like grew up, always poking at each other, prodding at each other, and like specifically just hitting those buttons that drive you nuts. And I kind of have a theory that the reason my parents did it is so that as I got older and went to high school and all that, or like 7th and 8th grade too. But as I got older, because kids love to bully and pick on you. And I think my parents partly did it so that I would have a thick skin. And when those kids would do that kind of crap, it wouldn't bother me. That's my theory. My mom's passed, so I can't ask her. And I'm not going to ask my dad because I just get a long-winded and irrelevant answer at this point, I think. So, and see, that's the kind of insulting stuff we do. Like, I would say that just, right to his face, and then he would laugh about it, and I would laugh about it. So, and then he'd look at my wife and be like, see how he treats me, her. And I'd be like, well, that's what you taught me all those years. I mean, what the hell did you expect? What the hell did he expect? He spent the majority of his life, like, picking on me. And then when I throw it back in his face, now that he's older and I'm older, he's like, you can't treat me like this. It's like, well, you did this. You could have taught me to be nice. But anyways. Okay, so for the little top bit here that's going to line up, we're just going to flip this little guy over. We'll flip him over. Line him up right there. Looks like my wife and child have abandoned me. They left. So I'm all alone. He was probably starting to make noise. He was probably starting to fidget and make noise. Oh, okay, so I didn't do a very good job over here. These are not lined up. Oh, that OCD's kicking in here. I gotta fix it. So what's everybody up to today? Are you all off across the pond there, across the Atlantic in Europe, or some of you early morning Americans? Just curious. Canadians by chance? There could be some Canadians in here enjoying their legalized plant. Something new that recently happened in Canada, I suppose. I imagine eventually the U.S. will catch up with that, but we are highly Puritan in our ways, so it'll be a while. It will be a while. Let's see. Fire Gamer, I'm working on this bridge. I'll zoom out. Let me position these really quick. Aside from like pointless rambling, I am trying to work on this bridge, and I'm just kind of fleshing out the columns here or the sides to see what it's gonna look like. I honestly have no idea what I'm doing. This is not planned out at all. I'm just hunting for pieces, slapping them in here, and just trying to add volume to this thing to see where we can go and make it look nice. I'd like to. Can I get the one in the middle, please? Thank you, Planet Coaster. Aside from occasionally fighting with the what is it? The Axes tool, whatever you want to call it, the advanced move tool. That's the name. The other thing I love about this game is when you can't click on the pieces and some like other piece with a bigger hitbox or an odd hitbox just starts swallowing your mouse clicks. That's always fun too. So anyways, that's what I've done so far. This is what we're doing. I have a little bridge walkway that goes here. Let's turn off the UI and all that stuff. It's got some coaster supports going through some of the stuff here too, so I'll have to worry about that later. But anyway, so I have I got this big area over here. I get this big area over here, and I don't know why I needed to do this a long time ago, because it's making my life more difficult now, but I wanted to have like a bridge pathway that the guests walk across to get from one to the other. And I guess the idea is that there's like this kind of hidden lagoon back in behind the mountains. I don't know, maybe like the coastline or something would have been way out there. And so maybe the animals would have been, or the animals, maybe the ocean would have been back there, and there would have been like this hidden waterway that, the pirates, because this is kind of pirate themed and then ancient civilization themed. But the pirates would have come in through that waterway and made it into this lagoon here. And then once they were in, they kind of would have set up shop and built their like little harbor or whatever on top of some of the ancient scenery that's around. So the idea with this bridge is that, I want it to look piratey, as if the pirates built it, but I also want it to have a little bit of the kind of ancient civilization look and feel to it as well, as if the ancient civilization had built the foundation first, and then the pirates just kind of tack their stuff on top of it. Just looking at the chat over there, Loki's from Australia, calls me mate, and says the environment and animals are deadly. It's great. Yeah, I've always heard that. That's kind of the reputation you guys have gotten outside of Australia. Go to Australia where everything wants to kill you, is what people try to say. I imagine it's not entirely true, but every generalization is steeped a little bit in truth, maybe just a little bit, tiny bit. So over in Australia, it's 10 to 11 p.m. So that would put them about 6 hours ahead of where I am. Is that right? Yes. 6 to 7 hours. So, but Hawaii is minus 5 hours from where I am. And I thought Australia was further west than Hawaii. I'll have to look at a map later and figure out my geography. Anyways, let's turn the interface back on so I can do this some more. So then we kind of need to put something in here, right? We need to put a little something in here and get that built up, add some volume to this thing. And so I'm thinking what we'll do is, as I was just saying, ancient civilization pieces, we want to get some of their look and feel into this building. So let's see if we can do it. No, that's not going to work. Let's see if we can do that with some of the other pieces that I've used in the my ancient civilization architecture. So let's come over here and let's see. This is something I do quite often. We already did this hard work once, and we liked the way it looked. So let's just take that hard work and duplicate it, drag it somewhere else in the park, and reuse it. And then by doing that, you can keep things looking somewhat like consistent, like overall. What I mean to say is, like, the scenery over here and over here, they'll share some elements if you reuse your pieces. So they'll be like, the area will be consistent. But then they're far enough apart that you can still add a bunch of unique flair to them. Never mind, it's 7:49. What? How the... Wait, what? Oh, no, that's somebody else. That's somebody else. Fire Gamer is at 7:48. So where are you at, Fire Gamer? If it's 7:48, are you like I don't know, like in Japan or Asia or something like that? You're an evening behind. Indonesia. Wow. That's, I didn't mean to place that piece. That is the amazing thing about YouTube and running a channel and doing live streams mostly, is people just pop in from everywhere. It's the most amazing thing to me. And it's when I was a teenager and a young adult, the internet had not quite caught up with that kind of stuff. Like we certainly had chat rooms that were around the world, but even that was kind of hard to do because you had to dial into localized servers. So like if I wanted to talk to people in Indonesia, I would have had to join a server that was like located in Indonesia. And the way everything is now is it's just like like all the barriers have been broken. You know, there's no more geographic lines unless you actively seek them out. But just like, you know, things like Discord and Twitter and of course Facebook, although Facebook will connect you with people that are nearby anyways. But it wasn't like that, you know, when I was younger. It was when I was a young teen and a young adult. It just amazes me how everybody is just so intertwined now. And you know, there are people in Europe who are like actively, you know, or not just Europe, but around the world, actively commenting and having conversations, you know, about politics in the U.S. I'm not going to get into a political discussion. I'm just using that as an example. And then, you know, people are looking at things that are happening around the world in other countries, the Middle East, you know, various things. And we're seeing it all in real time as it happens. And it's really the first time in history that we've been able to get those views of what's going on in the world around us without it going through a media lens. Because people will just stand out there with their phone. Every single person has got a phone practically that acts as like a video log of anything that's happening in their area. It's pretty wild. And it really makes me wonder, you know, how it's going to evolve from here for, say, like my kids. You know, because, you know, it's only going to get more, what do I want to say, like more interconnected. And, you know, bandwidth and stuff will only get better, and the recording ability of devices will only get better, because that's pretty much how technology works, unless we have some sort of weird apocalypse and we lose our access to it, which is another odd scenario to consider. You know, if we had something like really wild happen, and we lost access to, you know, the knowledge and the facilities, it would take forever for us to get it back. It's so you can't get too lost in that kind of train of thought, because you'll drive yourself crazy. Loki says that the animals are fine. Most of them are lazy, but they are very dangerous when you try to stir them up. It's the spiders and snakes are easy to avoid if you're careful. Well, that's good to know. You know, I live in Southern California. I've lived in Southern California for pretty much my entire life. And, you know, out here, our biggest concern is like black widows and, the hell's it called? A rattlesnake, the most basic snake that you could think of. But our biggest concern is black widows, rattlesnakes. And then because I typically, every house I've ever lived in has been kind of in the foothills. We have to worry about bobcats, although not for people, but for pets. Bobcats, coyotes, and mountain lions. And I've never encountered a mountain lion, but I've talked to a few people that have, usually on bike trails. And it's usually like they're just cruising along on their bike, and then there's like a mountain lion out in the path ahead of them. And sometimes they get stalked, you know, and they have to like get back off the trail somehow. Depends on how far down the trail they are to get away from it. Never had that experience myself, so I'm very happy about that. Here's a good piece. I was looking for another good piece that we could bring over here to duplicate some of this architecture and get it in here on this bridge for this ancient civilization stuff. In fact, this might even be better as a foundation for these pieces, although, yeah, what would make it not work for me? What would make it not work is, if I can get this mostly lined up, just kind of eyeballing it, is at the bottom here. At the bottom, it's like it's too narrow in here. And then these pieces are too wide. And then even if we were to try to flip this over and fit it in here, it's not going to work. But we may be able to use this piece somewhere over here. What happens if we flip it upside down? And can we maybe do anything interesting with it like this? Yeah, I don't know. We're going to go ahead. We're going to move it. And we're just going to put it right. We'll put it right there for now. That puts it in the build. Frame rates are like 14 frames per second. Is that just Fire Gamer? It could be me. Hello, Asymmetrical. How you doing? Yes, I am streaming, of course, while you're at work. But there are a few people that appear to not be at work. Let's look at the stats here. Yeah, you know what? I'm getting some frame loss due to rendering lag. And I noticed that OBS has been doing that a little bit more often. My frame rates are smooth while I'm playing, fairly smooth. Like I'm getting at least probably 40. OBS on the other hand seems to be doing significantly worse. And my bitrate is not even that high. It's not even that high. And I don't think I can change it on the fly while I'm streaming. But I've noticed that OBS has been getting some rendering lag even while I do Total War, which before it used to not have any issues with that. So, and part of it too is the park has a lot of pieces, so it is getting kind of big. I should probably turn down the graphical quality of my game while I work on it. It's been something that I've been kind of battling off and on, at least with the OBS side of it, where it tells me I'm getting rendering lag. I don't know why it's doing that, and I don't know if anybody else who streams is getting wild rendering lag while they're doing it too. But maybe later today I can ask a few other people I know that stream if they're having any issues like that with OBS, because it's outrageous. It says it's missing 15 to 20% of the frames due to rendering lag, which I don't know why it would be doing that. I have more than adequate hardware to render this stuff at the settings I have. And then I used to see, the other thing too is not to go off on a complete tangent and not work on my build. But the other thing that I noticed is it kind of just popped up on me, and then I was looking into it, and I was reading on the OBS forums that there's a lot of other people that got hit with the same thing, and it happened with a Windows update, something to do with some creator update that Microsoft rolled out on Windows earlier in the year, and I think that's probably about when I noticed it. And I think that's about when I noticed it, but I was like, oh, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time investigating this. I'll worry about it later. But it just seems like it gets worse. And oh, here's a good piece. Okay, so this is what we want. We want a nice piece like this. And we're going to see if we can't put this in here. And we're going to add it to this building now. And then we're going to rotate. And I'm going to get some little designs here on the side. Now, I wonder why that one fit in here so nicely. Let's put this one out of our way. And so if we turn it this way, I think it needs to go down one more. I don't know if Mrs. Lady is still in the chat, but if she is, I wonder if she gets the rendering lag that I'm experiencing with my OBS, because I think she uses that when she does her live streams and stuff also. I don't know why I care so much about this being in here like this. Come on, let's find a spot where this looks kind of nice. So really about like right there is where it kind of looks okay. And so we'll go up with this, and we're lucky that we only need the 2. It's weird. There is a giant metal bar thing. Oh, you mean this right here? Yeah. I mentioned that earlier. I can talk about why it's there again. But give me 1 second to kind of position these. And then we'll go do the other side when we have a moment. Yeah, so the reason the metal bar, these are the regular rectangles. The reason those are there is when I was building this, when I first started this little project, I basically took the area between here and this side and I split it in half. And so we're just going to build the one side, and then we'll duplicate it and flip it 180, and then it should fit perfectly over here and then be fine. So that would be, that's the idea for the build, is to kind of get like the basic shape and stuff over here. And then we'll flip it 180, get it over here. And then each side will go in with a bunch of wood pieces and then decorate them like kind of the same, but also a little bit individually, give them each their own unique flair. And again, the idea with this is that it was like something like the foundation was built by an ancient civilization, and then maybe the pirates came in and built on, like repaired it and built on top of it, would be the idea with this. Loki says that that he or she would love that experience to not... Oh, he's not worried about crocodiles when they're near me, but a mountain lion, that would get me going. And I know what you mean. I'm sitting on 1440p, just my net. And Loki also says they enjoy that I pay attention to detail. Yeah, I try to. Thanks for stopping in, Asymmetrical. You have a good afternoon, and you get a 15 and 60. If you're still on, you'll stop by again. In 60 minutes, I'm probably going to be about wrapping up. I think I'm going to go until about 7, maybe 7:30, maybe. Just depends. Just depends. After I finish streaming, I'm going to hop in the shower, and then I'm going to get ready for work. And then I'll work, and I'll be in early enough to get home probably before 3. And that's usually when I eat my lunch, right when I get home from work. And then I'll probably do some recording for like a regular Let's Play episode. And that's about how my routine typically goes. I woke up extra early today to do the stream. And I'm going to try that. I'm going to try to be consistent with early morning streaming. And I'm going to see what that does, you know, in terms of growth and whatnot for my small little YouTube channel here. I'm going to try to stream, if I can, I'm going to try to stream 5 days a week, early in the morning, just like this. And build up an early morning audience. And then still on schedule release like about 5 videos a week in the I'll probably bump my regular video releases up until about noon my time. Well, that might be a little bit late, maybe about 9 a.m., which would still catch the people over in Europe across the Atlantic. That would catch them in their evening time. And I guess for people that are further west than Hawaii, they'd most likely be in bed by then. But they'll have something fresh to watch in the morning. That's right, something like that. So works for everybody. But and I am going to be adding maybe an extra game or two just for streaming. I've always wanted to get XCOM and Civilization into my rotation here. I've got an RPG called Darkest Dungeon that I would love to play on the channel, and I just can't quite do all of that. I don't have the time to do everything I want to do if I'm just doing episodes. But like if I pick a title and say, okay, I'm going to stream this title and that's it, or I'm only going to play this title on streams, then that could be something that I could do, and that could be fun. Fire Gamer, they were expecting at least. Loki is a guy. Fire Gamer was expecting at least 9,000 subs when they found this channel. Well, maybe one day I'll get there. Who knows? So the sides are kind of fleshed out. I like that. And like we're pretty good on the inside here. One thing that we could do at some point is if I bring them up in here and we just pop over to custom tags. No. Content packs is where it is. And we go to adventure. Yes, they would be in the other panel, wouldn't they? They're in the scenery tab. Okay, 1 second. There we go. One other thing we could do is kind of like add some of this stuff around here, and you know, change the overall look and feel of this. I think I would want to leave these ones on the outside there, but maybe do some sort of pattern or design like this on the inside. This could work. Yeah, this could work. Let's just see what it looks like right now. And of course, if we do that, if we were to go ahead and do this, then I don't think we would need any longer this piece right there. We could probably get rid of that piece. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and just leave it as is. That's always something that we could go in and look at later. So now, what else do we need to do? Kind of like flesh out the sides here, or no? I feel like we need like a little bit of stonework just right here. Maybe that is where we will use. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? That other big triangular piece right here. All right, let's see how this works, right? So let's back up right here. Okay, let's reset the rotation on this. Let's move it. Let's set it right there. If I turn it, okay, so It might be a little bit off, like a tiny bit off, but. Okay, so I think we're gonna do like this. Ideally, I want to like split it in half, just right down here like this. I think, and yeah, about that tall. And then we'll back out this way. And we'll go over here. And it would appear that we have more room on this side than we do on this side. It would appear that way, wouldn't it? That's okay. We can make this work. So that one will just be a little bit closer there. And maybe we'll bring this one in a little bit tighter. Just a little bit like that. And then they can't be floating like that. We need a little bit something underneath them. All right, so these pieces that I added earlier on the outsides, I don't think we need them. Okay, and then so we'll go like over this way. I need to move these. They're in the way. I see we have an eclipse in the chat. Okay, so if we put this like right there, like that. And then so that is going to make them look like they are, these tall pieces that I just put down are kind of supported by something. You know, one thing I've learned building in this game is it doesn't always have to make sense, like architecturally and physically. You can kind of break the bounds a little bit, but it does help if you just give it the illusion of being possible. You know, so anybody that's building their own stuff, it doesn't have to be like, you know, absolutely perfect and realistic, but make an attempt, you know, to make it seem like it's practical. You know, if we delete these two pieces right here, if we delete them and we just get out of the building grid and turn off the UI, oh, come on. Okay, so like if we delete them and you just do something like this, then it's terrible. But just adding those in right there, you know, it just gives it the illusion of being able to happen that way. Although I still don't like the way these ones are. I might use something different over here. In fact, yeah, let's find something better for right over there. I don't like those ones. And then we're not going to use that or that or that or that or that or that. We need something in here, something that's about this wide, really. Something that's about that wide. Game menu. We could use, that's not wide enough. This might work. This could work. I'm just trying to decide if I really want to use it or not. Okay, so if we were to use this piece, we really... Oh, boy. Okay, so if we were to do something, let's just see what this looks like. Really, over here it snaps so that like it's even to the plane of the piece, but on the other side, it goes off all over the place. Come on. Come on. All right, but that works. Okay, so if we like brought these in, like, I don't know, all the way down to there. And then we brought this one into... Oh, I don't know, say about there. And then we got to make a minor adjustment to this one. Let's see. About like that. I'm really not feeling it. needs to turn a little bit more this way. I'm just trying to eyeball and line up this these two edges there of the pieces. Okay, let's see. Go down a little bit with that one. Come on. It could end up working, looking okay. That's why I'm like fidgeting with it. That's not too bad. And then so what we would do with these now is we just move them down. And maybe slide them out just a little bit like that. And then we just duplicate and go down like this. I will eventually change the color on them. And they just need to go down into the water like that. So let's go ahead. Let's get matching colors to this piece. So we want that color, that color, that color, and that color. And coming up here, Fire Gamer gives me a thumbs up and 4 circles and says 5 out of 5. Nice attention to detail. Okay, so let's see what we can do with this. I don't know if it's going to look like good or not. But that's part of the fun in Planet Coaster, is experimenting with this stuff. I don't know. That's 5 circles. Yes, 5 out of 5 circles. I don't know how I feel about it, though. We're going to go ahead for now. We're going to leave it just because it, you know, it adds volume and it adds support. We can always decide that it sucks later and get rid of it. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to duplicate these. So if we select those and that, and then now we can move over onto the other side. It should be hopefully close. Very close to lining up where we needed it. A little bit off though, but that's okay. We can fix it. And we just want to take the corner of this thing and line it up with these. Yes. Okay, good. Yeah, it's been 30 minutes making just this. I know. I know. This is why people like Planet Coaster time-lapse videos. And I hate making time-lapse videos. They're not the funnest thing to make. Yeah, and I've been talking. You can go a little bit quicker if you're not talking, and I'm gonna have a sip of coffee. Oh, that's good stuff. But so I mean, you know, it is what it is, right? Let's come over here. Let's grab one of the tall columns. I'm grabbing them from over here because it's already got the colors and stuff that I want on it. I guess I could have duplicated the one that was right there. That would have worked too. Let's see. Let's add it to building. Reset rotation. Well, that did a whole lot. Rotate it this way. Okay, and then now we're going to make this thing just a little bit taller. This is a little bit easier to get this piece like centered inside here because you can eyeball this kind of stuff pretty easily. Okay, and so with these ones, I think, you know, we could go like extra tall. We don't have to. Just make sure it looks good there. Okay, I don't know what to do with that text right there. So good morning to you. Happy to see you here. I hope you hang out for a little bit. But I'm assuming it's Russian, as Fire Gamer is saying. I cannot read it. I cannot pronounce it. All the same, welcome to you. Hope you are having a good day. Hope you're having a good day. Okay, so now we got those up there. Get this thing out of my face. I don't know why I left that open so long. That's not characteristic of me to leave stuff like that sitting around. No. I want to move center right there. I assume that those two glyphs mean that this is the greatest stream ever. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for the kind words. Really means a lot to me. All right, let's see. I think I want to put this up here. Bonk. But I think I want it to be flipped upside down like it's a hat. Yes. Oh, it looks so much better as a hat, I think. Doesn't it? Does that not look better as a hat? Yes. It's a lovely little hat. It's a little bit wider than the other thing that we got in there. That's okay. Maybe we could put some lights or something in there. Loki says that they are saying hello. Thank you for the translation. And they have to... Loki's got to go. So thanks for stopping by. It was nice to have you here. Hope to see you in the future on one of my early morning endeavors, assuming I can be consistent with an early streaming schedule. I have tried. I have wanted. I can't really say I've tried. I have wanted for a number of months now to get like more consistent streaming on the channel, and I have just not been able to do it with the schedule that I've been maintaining. Because what I was doing is I was pretty much just waking up, taking a shower, going to work, and then getting home in the mid-afternoon and being like, okay, now it's either record or stream. And I do want to keep a consistent video release schedule going. And so the answer when I would be like, okay, am I going to record or am I going to stream? It was always like, well, I guess I'll do recording and try to stream tomorrow. And that's been like going on for weeks, months, if I'm honest. So what I wanted to do, starting now, is just see if I can get up early enough consistently and get some early morning streaming going. Because if I can do it early in the morning, maybe I want something darker with that. If I can do it early in the morning, then I'll still have the energy when I get home to do my recordings. And so I think I can get it all done. That's just me being a greedy human, of course, right? We all want everything. We want our cake. We want to eat it too. So I want streaming. I want regular release schedule. I want it all. And I've not been able to meet the that second goal with the streaming. I think that one looks good just like that. That looks better. All right, Loki, thanks. Sounds cool. Fire Gamer GT meme review. You were bored. No, I'm sorry, sir. I cannot understand the Russian language. I took Spanish in high school, so I can say like "Cómo está?" And once upon a time, I was semi-fluent in Spanish, but that was like 10 years ago. I'd have to be like completely inundated with Spanish to get anywhere near speaking it fluently again. Okay, so I think that's like kind of fleshing this out a little bit. And so now what I want to do is I want to start worrying about the top. And I don't know exactly how it's going to shape up, but I think a good piece to start with, because it's a nice wood texture. It's somewhat big. So either this balcony or this balcony, either one of these could work. And again, remembering the idea here is like the ancient civilization built the foundation, and then the pirates came and built on top of it. And looking at how this piece lines up, it looks like the axis point is off along this edge instead of in the center of the piece. So, okay, so I think we want to do this. I got to about here. Okay. This is where it's going to come together a little bit easier and look a little bit better, I think, once we get going down here. If this Yandex Perivachik, yep, don't know what that means. Okay, but if we bring this in over here, now this piece does not have any colors that we change, or it does. Okay, it does have color. So we can change the color if we want, because it's kind of like a reddish brown, which I think this piece is normally part of the Western scenery. So everything in that scenery theme is kind of tinted reddish or brownish, almost all the wood pieces. Okay, so now if this were a true drawbridge, we would want to leave a little gap here, and there would be some sort of like wood platform that the people would walk on. So this could serve as the foundation for that. So let's just see. I do like how this has these little lips or overhangs down here. That is something that I think you would kind of see on the bottom of it. And so if we kind of do this, okay, this could work. And how far over do we need to go? Maybe to about here. Maybe about right to that. And then when we duplicate it onto the other side, let's just see how much space we end up with back in the middle. Basic wood roof with wood pillars. That's right, buddy. That's what we're doing. Going totally basic now. So it should fill out a little bit faster. Although I want a different color for the wood. Let's zip way over here, and let's just steal a color from a wood piece over here. I'm thinking something off of this, maybe. I got a ton of wood over in here somewhere. And now that I'm looking for them, there's thousands of pieces here, and I can't find a wood piece that I'm thinking of. Here we go. Let's just grab this color. 14 frames per second. I really have to figure out what's going on with the OBS frame loss. It's driving me nuts. It's affecting the quality of my streams. Yeah, there we go. That's better. I like that color better. If this Yandex Perivajic, I don't know what that means. I am from California, sir. I'm from California. Way off on the west coast of the United States. Okay, so then I think we would want to duplicate this, like more or less on this side. Maybe about like right there. Can leave a little bit gap. And let's see. Oh boy, it's like a tiny bit off. No, I think it was pretty good. I think it's pretty good. So let's go back. Let's reduplicate. And maybe we go out to about like right there. And then the floor would maybe be a little bit higher. Okay, so let's come out. And then, one thing we could do to make our buildings look a little bit more interesting is now we can kind of climb out a little bit, right? So that they're not directly above each other. And can we get a piece in here and measure this distance? So if we take a balcony piece, and let's see. No, let's switch to a beam. A beam that doesn't have all these ridges and stuff all over it. Oh. Okay, we'll have to start over. Okay, so we're going to place this beam right here. And then we're going to place another beam. We're going to drag it out and go over to right there. And then now if we duplicate these, it gave us wonky axes. No, I wanted to be able to move it in a straight line. Oh, screw it. We're going to eyeball it then. What I wanted to do is I wanted to put a piece right here to get like an idea of exactly how far out this lip was so that we could do it over here too and just make them exact. But the axes that we got when we had multiple pieces was like, it was off kilter. So, or no, you know what? No, we can still use it. What am I thinking? You can still do it. It'll still work. I must need more coffee. I'm not entirely awake. Okay, we're going to spin this 180. Okay, and then we just do this. We go that way. We go this way. And there, see, it does work. I don't know why I didn't think that would work. So now we can duplicate these. We can go out this far. And then we need to lift them up. How high do we need to lift them so that the floors are even, you're asking? We do that with this piece. We have another measuring stick. And so we want to zoom in here and we want to lay this down right there is where it seems to just sink into the wood floor. So then we bring this over. And then now if we drop all three of these straight down until they just meet right along this edge is where we want them to line up. And they should be pretty much the same exact height. Like if we move them over, that's pretty good. And then we can bring it back over this way and line it up with that. Now both sides are fairly symmetrical in terms of the floors. I don't know why that mattered so much to me. It just did. Dun, dun. Oh, you're trying to take what he's typing and feed it through Google Translate. Yeah, good luck with that. Sometimes it works. I was reading once upon a time that you know, if you can release your YouTube videos, if you can release them in multiple locales, that you should try to do that. So I was like, oh, I'll try to do that. And so what I did is, like, some of my videos that were going out, I went and I looked at like the top 5 languages for viewers that I have on my channel. And I went and used Google Translate to translate some of like the descriptions and the titles, and you know, try to localize them for I think the Netherlands and Greece and Italy. I think France might have been one, and Russia was definitely one. And Google Translate was not giving me anything that looked like decent results for Asian regions. And I honestly, I don't even know which videos I did it for, and I never like went back in and looked at if the viewership for those increased. So failed experiment because I didn't measure the results. Anyways, okay, so now we got that, right? We got that. And so I think the other thing we need to do here is now we just kind of need to close up the gaps. And I think we're going to do it with like one of these pieces because they're all like, they're just all over the place. These are real piratey to me. This is how the pirates would have built stuff, would have been real messy like this. And so we'll go up and, well, I guess maybe to like right there is going to be okay. So it'll hang down a little bit. And maybe even poke out the sides. Well, if you're sleepy, I would recommend going to bed. As much as it pains me to say, because you would be leaving. But if you're tired, you know, got to take care of your body. Go to bed. Get your sleep. So I'm imagining it's probably like early evening in Russia then, probably, if I had to guess. Okay, so when this one pokes out the sides and this one pokes out the sides, now we have a gap here in the middle. We'll fix that at some point. Let's go ahead. Let's duplicate these. Let's get them over here onto this side. And just keep filling this whole scenery bit out piece by piece. With no real goal other than we're trying to build a drawbridge. That's the only goal that we have here is to build a drawbridge. I don't really know how it's going to look. And so we are just really in the experimentation phase, trying different things, seeing how they look. Oh my goodness. And so we'll go out this way a little bit. Okay, these ones on this side can poke out a little bit far. And very patiently get these ones come over this way. About like that. Okay. And let's see. So then I think we're going to need some wood going up to hide this. Now, it doesn't need to go all the way. It does not need to go all the way. And good pieces for that are in the adventure pack. The wood panels that are in here. 4x4, 2x4, and 2x2 wood panels. They call them scaffolding. So let's see here. Is this the 4x4? And then which way did the planks go on this one? Okay, so I think we want this one. And we're just going to drop it right there. Turn it this way. Lift it up. And we're going to bring it on over here. We can't change the color of this one, so we're stuck with whatever we got. But really what I want to do is I just want to give a little bit of like cover to this thing. Okay, just like a wood enclosure. So we'll just kind of like do this. And I'm thinking 4 meters is probably the tallest we need to go for this. And then it can just kind of poke out the top a little bit. So if we were to line these up perfectly, they'd be about like this. But I want it to poke out the sides a little. Well, no, I don't. I want it to be real tight because I want to have a little walkway right here. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to bring this over this way. Well, if you want to stick around, more than happy to have you. Okay, so we want to do like that. Let's see. Okay, so what I'm noticing here is that the chains that I put on this are kind of far out. And if I bring them in if I bring the chains in any closer, then the people might be clipping right through them. So what I've done is I've inadvertently made it so that we kind of need some wood supports over here. So let's duplicate these and spin them around 180, and we'll just bring them over. Okay, let's do them individually. Because when it rotated them, it like shoved them off to the side. And okay, so how are we gonna do this? Because one thing we can do, is we can kind of like do like this and just have the chains kind of like go into some sort of thing that we build right here. We could kind of make that work maybe. Or bring it back this way more so that the chains are higher up. Maybe about like right here is going to work. Okay. And so if we're going to do that, yeah, we may want these to just go all the way over. Is this one not touching the floor? It's floating. Okay, so we need to sink each of these down just a tiny bit. Make them a little bit lower. All right, no problem, man. Pleasure to have you. I know that this isn't always the most exciting stuff. So I think that kind of looks okay. And then we'll drag this off this way. Okay, we do that. And, well, I'm thinking we'll just bring these over this way then. To about like right there. And then where is the 2M? Oh, this is perfect. So we get our 2M and put it in here. Why is it so much higher than the others? Oh, because I didn't place it based off the other piece's positioning. That's why. So that makes sense. That's fine. Okay. And we can maybe let it poke out like a little bit. And then we'll bring it down this way. And let it poke out a little bit on this side. Okay. And then we'll put some beams on the corner there. And that will pretty much close it off. So let's see now. Let's see. Yeah, let's add the beams. So we need to go back over to the regular building. Very slow menus. That's pretty much the one thing that's consistently slow in my Planet Coaster. With all the adventure, with all the DLCs and packs and everything, is the menus are like really slow, switching from one to the other. Okay. So now let's put this in here, and yeah, I think we're, ooh, no. Okay, so we're gonna let this one sink down until it just touches that thing, and then we'll go ahead and put this on top. And we're gonna let this one go up a little bit high, and that is maybe going to give us an opportunity to make it a little bit more interesting up top. Okay, then that one only goes to there. And then this one will go to here. Come on. Okay, not bad. And then we'll go down this way. And bring this one with it. Now, these don't have to line up perfectly. It's okay if they're not entirely aligned. Nobody's going to notice. Nobody will notice. Okay. All right, that's not looking too bad. And then I think we need some of these beams. I think we need them in the center here. I think we do. So we're going to go ahead and drag one right there. And drag another one right there. And this is going to give the illusion of support and structure up top. And let's just get a look at how this looks like from down here. It's kind of okay. It's kind of coming together. You know, by the time we turn around and throw all the other scenery and stuff on it, it should start looking pretty good. Okay, come on. Can I click this? Yes. All right. I swear, I just thought I was hearing a coyote howl. So I have the window open. But it stopped now. I thought I heard it. Anyways. Okay, so now that we got that, I don't know exactly what we're going to put on top. Maybe we'll have like another little lip with some of this stuff. And maybe we'll build it out of like rickety boards or something. Well, we do need to do something because you can still see the chains, right? So we need something in here to go up a little bit taller. So let's go back over here. These are the best pieces to use for it. So we're going to duplicate these. We're going to lift them up until the chain disappears. And then we're just going to move them back a tiny, tiny bit so that they don't do any Z fighting with each other. And that looks kind of okay. Do the same thing on this side. So first we're going to lift them up until they're the same height approximately. Give or take. All right, go out to like right there. And so now we can't see the chains. Oh, and then of course I would have to do these two, right? So I need to go up. To about there. And back just a little bit. And we got to do it over here also. There we go. That's looking good. And then let's see if we can figure out the chains, because this is gonna be kind of a hard thing to figure out. What we need is like a circular piece that they can disappear off into. Some of the adventure pack pieces might work because we got these like little eyeball thingies, so that could work. Can I click one? I don't know if they're big enough. And we want to change the color and make it like really dark. We want it to look metallic, even though we're never going to get it to look metallic. And my fear is it's just not big enough. So we might use a different piece. Okay, so let's just set that right there. Hit X, and we'll clear off our wood filter. I think pretty much all those pieces are in here. I wish I could put a trash can up here. That would actually, the mouth of the trash can would work perfect for it, wouldn't it? If we could use that. Let's see. We're looking for just a specific circular piece that is big enough to look as if the chain is coming out of it. Maybe. Let's see. What are these? These are special effects. No, that's not going to work. I was going to say maybe if we like sunk this in and then colored it a certain way, but it's going to be poking out the back because of how close the walls are together. It's a tall piece, so that's not going to work. Okay, the pirates would not have had tires. But if we sink a tire into the wall just a little bit, what does it end up looking like? Terrible. So can I click on the tire now that I've placed it, please? What happens if we change it to black? It just changes the inside. Darn. Because one thing we could do, possibly, is if we give it like a little bit of a rotation, we can smooth out these grooves and stuff that are on it. Okay, and then it looks less like a tire each time we do it. Although, I don't know. From back here, it still just kind of looks like a tire, doesn't it? The other thing we would need to do... Well, okay, let's keep the tire for now. And let's just hunt and peck for other pieces. Let's take it off the adventure scenery. Okay, so what else we got? Maybe one of the sci-fi pieces would work. I'm just going to have to scroll through this big fat list and kind of scan everything. And we're just... What on earth is this? Oh, it's that rolling ball. Okay. I've never used it, so I didn't know what it was. When on earth did we get a statue of a penguin? Okay, we got a dark tree trunk in there. We might be able to use the tree trunk. Okay, let's might even be able to use the anvil. We might be able to use the anvil, although it's more pieces than I want to use. What about the tire hub? Nah, it's probably not going to work. It looks too clean, the metal. Oh, that's a barrel bent. Darn, I thought it was a regular barrel. Barrel might work. Barrel could work. I wish I knew exactly which piece to use ahead of time, but I don't. So we're just gonna have to hunt and peck through here until we find it. The right piece to put here so that our chain can disappear into the wall as if it is a drawbridge. What does this look like? It looks like licorice right now, but what if we make it like gray? Would that work? I don't know. I don't know. That might be able to do it. I'm not entirely sold on it. This little guy right here. This little cupcake thingy. If we turn it around, people have used this thing as like a planner and all sorts of stuff. Nah, I don't like the ridges that are on it. That's not gonna do it. That's not gonna do it. I'll keep hunting and pecking in here. We'll find a piece. What about the backside of this crown? What does it look like? No. Looks like some sort of pastry. It's not going to work. Emergency light. How big is it? Too small. If it was a little bit bigger, maybe we could have like flipped it around. We might have been able to use that. Certainly not the exploding barrel. What about the fire hydrant? Okay. This might work. Well, it might work for coloring it in. Okay, see, like if we take the whoops, let me back up here. If we take this and we make it black and black, and then we kind of like move it this way and we move it up. If we can find a piece that's a little bit smaller for the circle, I don't know, we could use like a couple of these, right, and kind of fill it in, but we could do that with a basic shape too. So I don't know that the fire hydrant's going to fit the bill here. And we got our fireworks with the letters that people have been memeing on Reddit and making silly little things. Like, where's my nudes and strudel waffles or something like that. I don't think any of these signs would work. How big is it? What happens when we turn it around? What's it look like? And it's the same on both sides, so that's not going to happen. Holiday bin. Oh, I think we found it. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Yeah, I think this is the piece right here. All right, it just depends how wide is it. Is it going to poke out the backside? Oh, we got room to spare. So we could even do like this. Oh, yes. Okay, and we go down. Please tell me I can change that gold trim to something else. I can't. Well, then I guess like that. right? And then let's go get our basic shape. I don't want to look any further than the chimney. I think it accomplishes our goal well and good. Okay, now how big is this? That's too big. And we just need to go up. Yes, I'm happy with it. That worked out good. Okay, so let's copy this and do the other side. And then we were using this piece, and it was black. There we go. Come on. Yes, excellent. Excellent. And excellent. Look at that. And then from back here, well, we got to get rid of this stuff because it looks ugly. I deleted one too many beams. How'd that happen? About like that. Well, it certainly does look the part, doesn't it? I think mission accomplished with that little bit up there. That looks good. That looks good. And then by the time we go in and add some more pirate flair and stuff around this thing, it'll look even better. I don't know if I'm sold on these columns right here. I don't know if I'm sold on it. And the reason for that is because I think I want to bring all of this. Depends on if it's going to give me a nice axis. Of course it doesn't. Gosh. But I think I want to maybe make this a corner piece on the corner. And then we'll go do this side, make it a corner piece too. This is going to give us a little bit more room up top. Okay, a little bit more room up top. What's that going to get us? You'll see in a second. It needs to go in, out. Okay, come on. Just a little bit. Turn. Turn. Oh, God, that looks so bad. Ugh. Okay, so the castle buttresses are not going to work down here if I'm going to put these on the corner. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to keep them for now. Just like, well, I don't know. If I leave them in, and then like, you know, I don't ever notice how bad they are, then I can just leave them permanently because it's like, well, I never noticed it. But yeah, I don't like the way that looks down here. That looks really terrible. But moving that over to the side, what does that get us? That buys us a little bit of room over here. So if we go back into... Wait a sec. Are these not part of the same building? No, they are. Okay, anyways. So now that we've done that, we could take these and we could rotate them. And we can kind of go out a little bit this way now. I don't know how far exactly we want to go. Maybe one of these is wide enough as it is. I think it is. So we'll get rid of this one. Okay. And we'll come over this way. And we'll come over here. And we'll bring these ones over onto this side. And so this one needs to move out just a little bit, or we could make them just a little bit like closer. No one's really going to notice that it's not perfect. I mean, who's gonna really zoom in there and look at it other than me? Even at some point, if I ever finish this park and get it up on the Steam Workshop or something, people are probably not going to notice little details like that. They'll just walk around and be like, ooh, look at all the big, beautiful park. Wow. Flat roofs is, there's a specific piece I'm looking for, and I think it would be in here. It was this one. I was wondering if maybe we should use this and round out the corners. Although one thing I've never liked about this piece is how it's not like flush. Like nobody would make the corner of their deck this much of a tripping hazard, right? Nobody would do that. Nobody in their right mind would do that, right? Like if you look at this thing, look at this. Okay, so like practically speaking, this is how you would use these pieces, right? But I mean, look at this. You'd trip every time you walked over there. If this was your like patio deck, you'd be stumbling constantly. And all your guests, if you had guests, would trip and be like, "Why don't you fix this crap and make the floor flat?" So it's like, even though these pieces are here, they're like impossible to use. It's just one of those things where with the pieces in this game where you want to use them and you're like, but they have like these little things with them that just make you crazy. They make me crazy anyways. The other downside to trying to use these pieces is that it makes doing this corner harder with the railing and stuff too. But the reason I do want to use them and am contemplating it is because they give the building some contour, and so it's not just a rectangle up top. Although, honestly speaking, I think if Pirates had built this, they would have been perfectly happy with a rectangle. They would have been like, that's good enough. We don't need to do any more with it. But this, you know what we can do? Okay, here's how we can fix it. We can just make our own. And what we need is plank. We need some planks. If Planet Coaster does not provide the correct piece for your build it yourself. It's like the Planet Coaster way. But we can leave these other ones here kind of as like guides. They can guide us through our task. Okay, so we'll do like one there. One there. One there, right? Okay. Rotate them this way. So the boards are starting to Z-fight with each other. So every time we add one of these, we need to like, one of these directions, we need to sink it down just a little bit. But it's okay. I think this will be better than using these pieces. And then now, okay. Of course I can't click on them. Okay, and then so we'll get this one way out here. And go back like this. All right, I guess that's as high as we can lift it because it pokes out over here where the red arrow is, where we used the balcony before. Okay, so we're just going to move this down this way. I'm going to worry about, like, they are totally not lined up, are they? They're slanted. Well, I suppose that's okay. So what'd we end up with? We ended up with this. They're not. They're totally like slanted. How'd that happen? Let's see. Okay, that's okay. That looks all right to me. And then we got some back over here that are fighting with each other. And this might look better if we do something like this. And get like a little pattern in here. What? No, I didn't do that. Okay, so we get this little cross stitching pattern back in here. Let's see what happens when we throw this on it and really screw it up. Probably look worse, yeah. I don't think that's going to do it for me, or that's going to work for me. Then the other thing we want to do here is turn off our angle snap and, well, no, you know what? I was going to say we want to like give them all a unique little twist and turn, get that unique variation in them, but that's wrong. What we want to do first is bring them over here and duplicate them on this side. That's what we want to do first. 1, 2, 3, 4. About like that. Come on. Okay, this is going to try my patience. That seems correct. There we go. And then we have to do going in the other way, like this. And there's no real easy way to move pieces when you get into this situation because our overall building up top doesn't really line up with the grid, so we can't use a grid piece to move these things along the axes the way we would probably desire to do. So you just kind of have to eyeball it, and if it's not perfect, then you just kind of have to suck it up and move on with your life. That's the Planet Coaster solution when it's not working right. Okay. But I think this gives the building a more unique, like, overall shape and look and feel. I like it better than just being a big rectangle. Okay, so we do that. Now we can go back in. Well, let's see. I want to reuse these pieces because it's lazy. Like, we can just use one piece and get it done. But now that we've done this down here, I kind of feel like we should just go all the way across with it, huh? I kind of feel like we should, like, do this. But then these ones. Please give me just a normal straight axis for once. Thank you. Thank you, Planet Coaster. You did it. You did it. Okay. And then, so now where we have like this little gap and they're not lined up on the bottom, what we can do is just make micro adjustments to the other little boards here. Space them all out a little bit. Okay. Maybe move these ones a little bit. Okay. Maybe move these ones down, put a little bit of a gap down here. And so the idea with this is now to go in and add like some imperfections and whatnot, because let's be honest, the pirates who built this would probably not have built it like perfect. You probably see these little things. And it's these little details, I think, that are going to make your creations just look more realistic. We're going to go ahead. We're going to spin this board around. so that we don't have all the same edges poking out here. We'll do this one too. Maybe we'll do like every other board. And it's a tedious task, and you just have to spend the time doing it. But overall, makes everything look better. Okay, so let's see. And we'll just move down the line here. Every once in a while, do a 180 rotation. Okay, we probably have one too many boards here, so let's get rid of that one, and let's start bringing these ones back this way. And then after we do this, we'll go in and we'll like individually color them. We'll pick a set of browns, and then we'll just do a few boards at a time and give them all a slightly different color. You know, we'll distribute like, I don't know, 3 or 4 colors across all the boards, and that will make it look better too. This is the one that we can get rid of on this side. Okay. Got like that. And for anyone that's just joining, because I noticed a few people popped in, we're working on a little drawbridge here that connects this side of the park to this side. A long time ago, when I originally built this stuff, whoa. I think my game just crashed. Did it? What is it doing? No, it didn't crash. My mouse wheel stopped working. Okay, well, since that startled me, let's go ahead and save the park, because I haven't saved since I started. Ooh, that scared me. I thought it crashed. Okay, so zooming out again. A long time ago, like many episodes in my Let's Play series, I built a little drawbridge path over here, but it sucked. And so now that most of this area is like done and come together, we're going to go in and I'm cleaning this up. And the last time I live streamed, I was working on it. And so live streaming again, I thought, hey, you know, we'll pick up that little drawbridge path across the waterway there and see if we can't get some more work done on that, because I've been kind of avoiding it. You know, I want to work on it as part of my live streams for Planet Coaster, because that's like where I started this little project. And I've got some other stuff I've been working on for my regular videos and stuff too. Okay, so let's see. I don't think we're going to get this finished today. Maybe I do plan to stream again later in the week, early in the morning, like I'm doing now. So we'll probably see this again in a couple days, early morning, and get some more work done on it. Okay, so on this side, we don't need that board. And we don't need the equivalent on this one. Okay. Let's go ahead and take these 3. Or no, these 2. It's coming along. Welcome back, Fire Gamer. I'll zoom out in a second and show you. So we can get rid of that one. And then we just want to evenly distribute this gap that we have across this whole floor. So select everything, nudge it over to the right, and then deselect the one on the left. And we just keep doing this. Yeah, it's a little bit too much of a gap. Okay. These ones over here are out like a little bit too far. I think we'll spin this one around. So it's looking like this now. We got some extra pieces up top here. And we've got these cornered edges that we're building by hand because I don't like the... where'd it go? There's the deck piece. This piece in here, I don't... Oh my goodness, I'm such a dumbass. All right. So I wanted to make the cornered edges, right? I wanted to make the corner edges, and oh my gosh, I'm such a dummy. Hold on a sec. And so I was talking earlier about like, oh, you know, we've got these cornered pieces like this, but I don't want to use them because they have these little grooves. And if you did this like on your deck, everybody would be tripping over them. So it's like unrealistic. And then just now when I went back in and looked and I started laughing, I realized that there's these ones that are flat. And I could have just used them. I could have just done this. I could have just done that and called it done. And so that's why I'm a dumb idiot. But you know what? I like what I made better, so we're keeping it. We're going to fully commit to our silly choice. Oh, good grief. Good grief. I didn't even see that one when I went back in and looked. So anyways. Whatever. I'm over it. It's not the first time in my life I made myself look silly. Won't be the last, that's for sure. Definitely won't be the last because I have kids. Kids love nothing more than to see you act silly and do silly things. Be silly again, Daddy. All right, man. Good night. Thank you for stopping by. It was nice to have you here. And a new phase has appeared. Good morning or afternoon. Dream towards end. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. And let's see here. So we're just going to kind of like nudge those out a little bit on the sides. And spread these out a little bit. Get those little gaps in here, those little imperfections. Zoom off over this way. Or you know what? Before we do that, let's spread these ones out just a little bit, and give this one a spin. Yahar! There we go. And we could do these ones here. I don't think I fiddled with them yet. Okay. And then now that we've done that, we could still do these ones. Okay. A little bit more in here. Okay. So now that we've done that and we've kind of got these cornered edges, another thing that's worth doing, I think, is going through and just haphazardly selecting a few boards, make them poke out a little bit, and then grab some others. Drag them back in. This is going to give all the neat little imperfections that would make this scenery piece feel more, you know, like it was built by pirates. Okay, and then we're going to go do it on this side. So go out a little bit with some of these. Grab some others. Pull them in a little bit. And, you know, I'm not trying to avoid reselecting the same pieces or anything, so you're going to get a lot of little variation in here when you do stuff like that. On this side, though, because there's only 3 pieces, we can think about it a little bit more and be like, yeah, I'm going to grab that one and that one. On this side, I think we'll just pull the middle out a little bit. And pardon me while I have a sip of coffee. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and move these ones a little bit, and these ones. Okay, and just work our way around the whole bit of scenery here. Pulling them out, pushing them back in. Okay. These ones on the edge, we might need to pull them out a little bit further because when we go and do the railing up here, depending on how it fits, it just might look better if they poke out more. But that, I think, so far looks pretty good for the top of our little drawbridge. I don't know if I'm sold on these corner pieces. I don't think they're going to work. You know, as the rest of this takes shape, I'm just not thinking that these things are going to be able to stay. At least not with this on top. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to get rid of those. We'll keep these for now. We may be able to keep those in. But I think, at least for right now, the way the wood and stuff was encroaching on those pillars, the pillars were just too large. We may come... Well, okay, let's do this. It's these things that are really the problem, okay? We might still be able to keep the little taller pillars here and maybe put something on top of it. I don't know. But those other things were just too big and too bulky for that to work. So the way this is looking right now is pretty, like, kind of in line with my expectation. Like I said when I started, I didn't have a real blueprint or exact, like, thing in mind. But this is kind of starting to shape up into what I was thinking I wanted. Some other things that we do want here is we want, like, some way that the pirates would have gotten up onto here. And so there's a couple ways we could do that. Like, we could build some stairs that kind of come down and they go over here. Or we could build, like, some scaffolding and some other stuff. Like, if we look at the bell tower, where is it? Is it going to be in here? There it is, the wooden bell tower. So one thing we might be able to do, depending on how all this is going to shape up. Let's see. Why is it, like, crooked? Oh my gosh. I'm having a little bit of, like, lag moving this one piece, and so it's, like, acting all crazy. Oh, heavens to Betsy. Can you please just straighten out and be normal? Thank you. Okay. So, like, if we did something like this, although I think it would be better if it were on, oh, say this side, because then the bell tower would poke out over here. But if we were to do something like this, you know, you could get away... You know, like, you put this, like, right over here, right? And then it would look as if the bell tower is part of the whole construction. It still feels to me like it's, like, leaning a little bit to the left. I guess it's not, but it really feels like it is. So anyways, if we were to do something like this, although maybe like that. Let's see. Let's play around with this a little bit. And the idea here would be to create the illusion that the pirates, like, climbed up this little ladder to get up to this whole platform and everything, right? That would be the idea that we're going for here. Only problem, of course, is the bell tower is not quite tall enough. So, you know, we could either do this and have it float off the ground and then try to fix it down here. The other option is to have it sit on the ground the way it would have if the pirates were really using it. And then after placing that, we go in here and we just clean up this edge and turn it into stairs. Other problem with this, gosh darn it, Planet Coaster. Other problem with this now is then this railing right here is poking up through the floor. So to make that work, we would have to sink the bell tower down even further into the ground, which I'm not opposed to doing. Like, it's okay to do that. And then maybe if we rotate it just a little bit like so. And none of the guests are going to walk over here, so they won't clip through any of these pillars or anything that are down on the ground. And so if we pop out of the building editor, and now let's hop back into the building editor for a brief moment, and let's just get this thing like out of our face and put it right there. Okay, and then so what this ends up looking like is like that. And so as you walk up, it makes it look as if the pirates would have climbed up to here and then maybe walked up some extra steps to get up to their little drawbridge thingy. And now that I think about it, we need to add a couple large cranks or something on here that they would have turned to make the drawbridge go up and down. So we'll add something with that. And I think some of the adventure pack scenery, like the animatronics for like the gears and things, that might work really well for that, wouldn't it? That could work really good. So we'll see if we could do that. And that's kind of where we're going to come back at this project, I think, in the next day or two. Because like I said, I'm going to try to consistently stream early in the morning. And we'll just see how that goes for a little while and see if it has any impact on the channel growth. And of course, I enjoy interacting with everybody else. But I think that is going to be it for this one. So thank you to everybody who stopped by and said hello. I had fun. We got a little bit of work done. Let's go ahead and save this before we bounce on out of here. All right. That's going to be it for me today. Thank you so much for anybody that stopped by and hung out. It was a lot of fun. Look forward to seeing you again. And if you're not subscribed, feel free to do so and leave comments or thumbs up. Those always help. You can follow me on Twitter. And we'll see you next time. You have a good afternoon. Thank you for watching, and take care.